So day 4, January Prayer and Fasting. This is Leviticus 4 summary, which is all about the sin offering. So for unintentional sin, so that's sin when they don't know they've been sinning, but later on they find out it was a sin. So all sin needs to be dealt with. And the good thing about the new covenant is this was not about the sin where you're presumptuous and you've put in your heart. In Old Covenant, this sin's about those that were serving God, and then the unintentional sin. Whereas in the New Covenant, for people that wasn't serving God and presumptuous had their heart against God, there was still atonement for them. So we're thankful that the New Covenant atonement is different to this atonement. But with this sin offering, there was different offerings for depending on who. So first the priest, it was almost like if the priest, there's more expectation for the priest, almost more like higher measure. So if they were the only offering that would be inside the tent of meetings, where all the other offerings wouldn't be sprinkled inside the tent of meetings, so it was like the priest. Just similar in James, later in the New Covenant, James said like it's almost the teachers, they have to be more aware of things, greater measure of judgment if a teacher does something wrong, similar to the priests now. So the priests, they were to have a bull if they were to sin, and there's still a big feature on the laying of hands, and then after that, the nation as well, they would have to use a bull, and all the elders would lay their hands when it's a nation that has sinned unintentionally. But then when it's the ruler of the nation, they'll use like a young kid, and this is showing that the ruler is not more than God. The priest represents God, and the ruler is not more than the nation and the people. And then when you, an individual, just a normal person sins, also a young kid would be used as well. So this is all about God's trying to deal with all types of sin unintentionally. Once you know of it, it needs to be dealt with. And then also another running theme, the laying of hands is not just like a little touching, it's also really like a pressing in, really a dependence, knowing like this thing here talks about laying of hands in the meaning of a symbol. It's like it was a confession of sin. It was a consistent to the pain of substitution. Did I read it right? It was a consent. Yeah, it was a consent to the plan of substitution. So we're laying hands, understanding that we're substituting for this victim. It was about the acceptance of that victim in the sinner's place. It was a belief in the transference of the sin. It was a dependence, a leaning on the victim. So no, we're depending. We can only be forgiven through depending on this person atoning for our sins and stuff like that. And again, later on, it's about depending on Jesus, depending on what he done in the cross, understanding that what he's done. And there was a big thing about understanding we're going to